Looking for some new podcasts to listen to? Well, Rat Salad Review Network has plenty of shows to choose from. Like Rat Salad Review, where they discuss the latest rock and metal news, as well as interviews and albums. Album vs. Album, the King Diamond Podcast, with Wayne Noon, Greg Norgal, and sometimes this guy.
Smack 'em a gob!
Ralph Viera is also on our network with the Viera Vault. There's also Old Man Metal's Musings, where he discusses heavy metal and beer. Music is Life with Lou Mavs. The Right Opinion for those who love politics. A South Park podcast called Suck My Balls. The Infinite Fringe, a watch-along wrestling show called Beyond Bushido. Ex-Stradivarius guitarist, the Timo Tolkki podcast. And the Great Harry Barnett with I Don't Even Like Podcast and the Laughcast. So check out ratsaladreview.com or search Rat Salad Review on YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. In 1983, Twisted Sister would make their major label debut for Atlantic Records with their second album, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. The album would reach 164 on US Billboard charts and 14 on the UK album charts. The songs The Kids Are Back, I'm Me, and the title track were released as singles. Not much changed within the band, the hunger was still there, but you could tell they were going to start heading in a more commercial direction, especially with their first ballad, You're Not Alone, which was dedicated to Dee's wife, who was the band's makeup artist and costume maker. It wouldn't be until 1995 when the album would be certified gold for selling over 500,000 copies in the US. Now let's get to part 2 of our Twisted Sister show on Rat Salad Review with Wayne Noon, Greg Norgal, Nate Lander, Lou Mavs, and Ralph Viera. You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. I don't have this one on vinyl.
It's good.
I do, but I didn't grab any. I have the secret records.
I have the British version, which is red.
I like that.
Cool. I like that a lot.
The
more.
back is different, though, because the back has half makeup, half not. There's nothing else different about this. It's the same album, you know, track-wise and stuff. Actually, this one's from Germany, I see. I thought it was the UK.
I also have the 12-inch EP for You Can't Stop Rock and Roll that has the 3 songs on it that ended up being the bonus tracks on the Spitfire edition.
Right on.
Yeah, that's the one I got, Spitfire. One Man, Woman, 4-Barrel Heart of Love, and Feel the Power.
Yeah, Feel the Power is good, but the other ones are like just...
Yeah, garbage.
I really like 4-Barrel Heart of Love. That's I
got to listen to it again, but I remember I only liked Feel the Power off that one.
Feel the Power is definitely the best one. Actually, you know what? Feel the Power should have been on the album instead of The Power and the Glory. That song isn't even B-side worthy. That really drags this record down.
Yes. Oh my God. That and Suzette's song. Holy shit.
The Power and the Glory is one of their songs that pisses me off the most. because it starts off with that speed, like what you don't know type speed,
Right.
and then it just turns into a dumpster fire within 45 seconds.
Well, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll was released in 1983 and is Twisted Sister's major label debut for Atlantic Records. Not much has changed with the band. The hunger was still there, but you could tell they were going to start heading in a more commercial direction, especially with their first ballad, You're Not Alone, which Nate just mentioned, which was dedicated to Dee's wife, who was the band's makeup artist and costume maker.
Have you seen her?
Lately?
Yes.
Oh, I'd write the shittiest song for that, babe.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I would write a Hard Rock Zombies level shitty song for that
I'll
woman.
fucking do a tribute to Poison for that chick.
Poison mixed with Gigi Allen.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's about as awful as you can get.
Talk dirty and bite me, you scum.
Yeah. Oh, I love Bite It, You Scum. That's such a great song. But anyway.
I love Gigi Allen as a concept, so that's...
Oh, me too, but most of his records are fucking awful.
Bite It, You Scum is great.
We're going to cover Stick That Warren Up Your Ass, actually. But,
nice.
I'm much more of a Seth Putnam fan.
All right, back to the Twisted Sister. But there were still a bunch of really great tracks, like the opener. What the hell is the opening song?
The Kids Are Back.
Yep, I love that song.
Pretty good.
Like a Knife in the Back, Ride to Live, I like. I Am Me, it's an awesome song, and We're Gonna Make It, and the title track, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. The other tracks I didn't really mention, Pound of Glory, I'll Take You Alive, and I've Had Enough, kind of felt like filler tracks to me. And the album also reached 164 on the U.S. Billboard charts. I don't know, for the major label debut, to come after an album that was almost damn near perfect, this one kind of like almost fell off the wheel, I guess, a little bit to me. It didn't sound raw anymore like they did in the first
time. It's a disappointment.
Sounding.
It's a disappointment, but it's a very good and acceptable disappointment.
Right.
Yet still a disappointment.
Right.
Right. It went from accept to Saxon.
You know,
especially the guitar tone. The guitar tone sounds like Saxon. It's like clean and weak.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too polished for them, especially coming after this released.
It's my favorite.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
You know, timeline's everything, man. First time I ever heard of Twisted Sister, MTV ran a commercial that was 30 seconds long for an MTV, and it showed them doing the You Can't Stop Rock and Roll video, but the part where they're in the street without makeup, and they look like scumbags. And I was like, man, that looks cool. I got to find that shit, you know? Because they kept running that commercial over and over again. Then that's the first Twisted Sister album I bought, and I think it's Timeline, man. I actually like, you know, look, Power and the Glory, all right, I don't hate it. Yeah, it's not one of the better tracks, but man, and I know it's total filler. I've had enough, the total filler track, but those lyrics emphasize the breakup I had with this fucking cunt. And it was perfectly, I mean, I identify with it, but my favorite track by Twisted Sister, period, is the title track. And a close second, Like a Knife in the Back. I absolutely love that song. That song fucking rips. Love the lyrics and, you know, hey, my man, can you breathe? Can you stand? He was an ass, always smelling of gas. Not at all one of us, the chosen few. I love that shit, man. That shit's fucking awesome.
Cool, yeah.
Lou.
So as I mentioned, I'm always at a debate over which is my favorite Twisted Sister album between Under the Blade and this one. So Ralph, I'm with you. Favorite tracks, Like a Knife in the Back, Ride to Live, Live to Ride, the title track, and I do love We're Gonna Make It and I'm Me. So
I'm Me. Very important song in my life because, you know, I was still living with my parents, and that song's very empowering. It's like, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want to do. And it really did help me in my youth, you know, get out of my house at 17 years old. You know, like, we're going to make it. It's like, they don't write songs like that, like empowering songs to go out there and, you know, show society, I'm going to be a scumbag and still make it. And I've always lived like that, you know. I ended up getting a city job with this hair, dude, because I don't give up because of Dee Snider, bro. You know?
Well, you know,
Fucking
Rob,
A, man.
better to be hated for what you are than loved for what you're not.
Exactly. So. I remember hearing that back in the 80s, and I said it like later on, somebody goes, Kurt Cobain said, Kurt Cobain fucking alive when I heard that shit. That's an old saying.
I Am I Me is my third favorite Twisted Sister song.
But I'm not gonna lie, the Twisted Forever album was my gateway to this album because I didn't discover it until I was in my early 20s. So when I heard Seven Dust cover this song, sounding like the Bad Brains doing it, I'm like, I have to hear the original one because this does not sound like a Twisted Sister song. Lyric-wise, yes. Music-wise, no. But listening to the Twisted version, just I felt that much more empowered listening to it. So, yeah, sue me. It's up there, I think, with again, the hardest thing for me is deciding which one I like better, this or Under the Blade. So
yeah, it is a tough one. They're very neck and neck for me. I guess because of timeline, I'm going to go with You Can't Stop Rock and Roll.
No, it completely makes sense.
And I played it to death. And I Am I Me was a huge hit.
Yeah,
I completely agree with you. Timeline is everything. Like Rush. For me, the first Rush album I ever heard was Signals. And I will forever love that album.
I love that album, too. And it's so different, you know. I was already into Rush, but that one was a grower, though, I got to admit. But Chemistry, one of my favorite Rush songs.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about Twist Sister.
That's right. Nate.
And, go ahead.
We're going to say most of the songs are pretty good. A little bit of filler. I think You Can't Stop Rock and Roll is probably the best song on the album.
You mean You Can't Kill Rock and Roll?
Shut up.
With Randy Rhoads on lead kazoo.
Fucking Pixar.
What do you think this is, a Zappa record?
Bob Daisley wrote this record.
God damn it, Quiet Riot.
Continue. Why do you hate You're Not Alone? That's a good ballad song, I think.
I don't hate it, but you know, it's kind of a predictable song. But right, I just look at his wife and say, okay, I excuse him.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
And it was never played live. I don't think that's a song they ever really wanted to push. He just it's like, thank you for giving me that.
And it's not bad for what it is. See, that's one thing for me about this record and why I like it almost as much as Under the Blade. It just so happens I think Under the Blade is almost perfect, so I got to knock this down a few notches. Yeah. But You're Not Alone is like very clearly their first ballad attempt, but it's not awful. It's just kind of like a work in progress. And then when you hear the price, you're like, oh, I totally get what they were doing now.
Yeah, it's not every.
It's more of a predecessor song, I want to say. Like, I feel like you need to hear the price to understand it completely.
No, the price.
Good point.
Yeah, but I still like it. My favorite though is Like a Knife in the Back.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. That song rips.
And then the title track. But, I mean, really, The Power and the Glory, even though I don't like that and I've had enough, and well, you know what? I do like I'll Take You Alive. But The Power and the Glory and I've had enough, even though I really don't care for them, they're still good songs. The problem with this is the way the production is so streamlined. Some of the songs are a little too similar to each other where they don't have any punch already. It just kind of runs together in a couple of spots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Feel the Power would have been a better choice than The Power and the Glory, though. That's just an all-around better song.
Think so too.
Yeah,
and it still has power in the title.
I think the drums on the album could have been mixed a little better. But that's not the complaint with it.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, Nate, you were saying something.
I think it's pretty flat though. Compared
to what they're saying.
No, I don't think they're flat at all.
No, I mean the whole album.
The whole album, yeah. Like I said, compared to the first album, yes. Yeah. The production just took all the power out of it.
All the power and the glory.
Somebody's baby's awake.
That's Anna.
Nate, you got anything else to say about
Not much more. I liked it, but I wasn't really impressed.
No. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you need the Golden?
Do I need to go?
Yeah.
No, my wife gave me tonight to do the show, so it's okay.
All right. Well, that's You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Oh, another song nobody really talked too much about was Ride to Live, Live to Ride.
I love that song.
That's an awesome song. Double
I
bass.
Am I Me,
really cool.
like Ralph was saying. That's one of the best tracks, man.
Yeah, that's probably the best track on that album for me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's one thing I really like about Dee Snider is kind of the positivity in his lyrics. It's kind of like Dio in that aspect.
Yeah.
Where it's very just like, stand up for yourself. You're good enough. I like that. I like that sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes.
That's why I listen to Anthrax.
That's right. They're very positive.
Right. That's why I don't like Persistence of Time as much.
Oh, what's Ralph got?
I don't want
Even on that album, though, Anthrax always didn't take themselves too seriously and kept their sense of humor.
Right.
What was that? Your screen froze.
This is the reissue.
Oh, the reissue. Yeah.
Which brings a bonus disc, which is Live at the Marquee, is on this too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
I'll have to get that then. I was thinking of getting it, but I'm not too big on like live stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do that.
Oh, you gotta hear the Twisted Sister live stuff though. It's an exception. It's an exception. It's faster. It's rawer, and just D raps are worth it a lot. He's just fucking hysterical.
I love it when bands play up tempo live, like the Ramones. It's just the Ramones
I got one of the
so much better live.
Oh, the Ramones is too fast though.
Like no live. No, shut up.
The one live album I have the Ramones. Every song is 1 minute long.
Live Loco is one of the best punk releases ever.
It's Alive is awesome. You ever heard It's Alive?
Yes, Alive. It's Alive is awesome. Yes, that is a really great one. Yeah.
I love the Ramones.
Ramones are awesome.
I have everything they ever released. I saw them in 1980, and I was underage, and I saw them on the stage. The bouncers let me watch them on the stage.
My dad got
and
to
the
see
Central.
festival.
That must have been a good show.
My dad got to see them at a music festival. I'll never get to see the Ramones, and that pisses me off. I was raised.
I've seen the Ramones. I've seen the Ramones so many times, but the last time I saw them, they were playing Lollapalooza, the one Lollapalooza headline, and the Ramones played it, and it was in West Palm Beach. I'm telling you, man, it was at least 120 degrees that day. Oh. They all came out in leather
jackets.
Wow.
And I think that's why they were dead. I was like, and they did the whole show in leather jackets. I was like, insane.
Wow.
I always wanted Circle to
awesome.
cover Dee Ramone songs because he sounds like Keith Morris.
Circle. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, Twisted Sister.
Third Twisted Sister album, Stay Hungry. Thanks for watching part 2 of our Twisted Sister show on Rat Salad Review. Come back in 2 weeks and we will discuss the album Stay Hungry. See you then.
What?